sign, Miss Burns to the side. Huh? What? Okay. Miss Burns, Miss Burns. Good? Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Eagle Court of Honor. I also welcome those who are joining us via live stream. I am Theo Wee, Senior Patrol Leader for Troop 374. Please rise for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. Color Guard, present the colors. Scout salute, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color Guard, post the colors. Scout sign, Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Color Guard, return to ranks. Please be seated. To begin our Eagle Court of Honor, Mr. Brian Burns, Scoutmaster for Troop 374, will make some opening remarks.
Thank you, Theo. Good evening. I would like to welcome you to this Eagle Court of Honor. This is an occasion for pride, joy, reflection, and celebration. The Eagle Scout Award is the highest recognition that Scouting offers to Scouts. It is earned through hard work, dedication, and achievement through the advancement program. Only a very small percentage of boys who begin in Scouting receive the honor. The wearer of the Eagle Award is the epitome of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. Back in 1962, Troop 374 honored Ronald P. Wells as the troop's first Eagle Scout. Today we have the pleasure of seeing Noah Bachman, Liam Byer, Luke Boulay, William Giles, and Patrick Burns culminate their Scouting efforts when they join the Company of Eagle Scouts as the 138th, 139th, 140th, 141st, and 142nd Eagles of Troop 374. I now ask Warren Fisher, our chaplain aide, to deliver the invocation.
Heavenly Father, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the interest in the scouting movement that has brought this group together today. We thank you for the success of scouting in our country since 1910. We are grateful for the influence that Troop 374 has had on the lives of boys in our community. We pray for continued blessings on this troop and its leaders, its troop committee, and its sponsors through the years ahead. We pray that Troop 374 may continue to turn out leaders for tomorrow, prepared as good citizens. We ask that you bless this gathering of family and friends from near and far who have come together today to honor and celebrate with these scouts who have earned the highest ranking in scouting. Father, we ask for your continued blessing upon Noah, Liam, Luke, Patrick, and William, and upon their family, scout leaders, fellow scouts, and friends who have guided and supported them along the path to Eagle. Amen.
Thank you, Warren. Now join us in listening to the significance of the Eagle Badge and of the Trail of Eagle, brought to us by T. Paul Kariuki in Eagle Scouts from Troop 374.
Thank you, Theo. Good evening. The presentation of the Eagle Scout Award is an important and serious matter. For the Eagle candidates, this is the pinnacle in their scouting efforts. The attainment of this award is made possible through the assistance of those you see here today: parents, scoutmasters, adult leaders, fellow scouts, family, friends, and members of the community. This is an occasion for celebration as well as reflection. As mentioned before, the Eagle rank is the highest recognition offered in scouting. The wearer of the Eagle badge is the embodiment of scouting's best efforts and beliefs. These scouts have distinguished themselves through their continued performance of active service in scouting. They have trained and practiced their leadership abilities and are marked by the character gained through an understanding of citizenship and religious beliefs. To appreciate this accomplishment, it is important that each of us understand the meaning of the Eagle badge. Please listen and reflect upon the Trail of the Eagle. Selected scouts, please come forward to begin the Trail of the Eagle. When a boy becomes a Boy Scout, there is within him something that we call the spirit of scouting. This single lighted candle before you represents that spirit. It has been present since these scouts' first days in Cub Scouting. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the principles of the Scout Oath, law, and outdoor code, it becomes a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this light may seem feeble, but when multiplied by more than 50 million boys in scouting around the world, it is powerful indeed. After a boy enters scouting, the scout law that he promises to obey begins to guide his life. One by one, we shall light the symbols for each part of the scout law. There are 12 parts. Each part is an important foundation in the building of strong character. Patrick Martin will light each of the 12 small candles as I read the Scout Law. The Scout is trustworthy. loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Simon Wee will now light the 3 large candles as we discuss the Scout Oath. In the Scout Oath, the young Scout promises upon his honor to do his best to do his duty. First, to God and country. Second, to other people by helping them at all times. And third, to himself by keeping himself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. With these candles, you now see how the light from the spirit of scouting is beginning to grow and become ever brighter. Now, in the distance looms the Eagle Summit, flanked by the lesser peaks that represent the star and life ranks. To the new Scout, they are very far away, but they will come a lot closer as the light from the spirit of scouting continues to spread. The trail of the Eagle begins as the Scout earns his Scout badge. He will progress the long climb to the summit by continually learning, being tested, being reviewed, teaching, and then being recognized. Dylan Reyes, will you please light the candle on top of the tenderfoot symbol? Thank you, Dylan. The Tenderfoot Badge is the first badge of rank a Scout receives. It stands at the foot of the Eagle Trail. Once inspired by the spirit of scouting, he will not stay a tenderfoot for long. Putting a few simple achievements behind him, he will shortly climb to the rank of 2nd class. Charlie Rollwagon, please light the candle on top of the 2nd class symbol. The requirements for 2nd class become more difficult. A Scout must learn to be self-sufficient in the outdoors and continue to render service to others. Now the Scout is ready for the challenge to attain 1st class. Jackson Giles, please light the candle on top of the 1st class symbol. Although the requirements become more difficult, the Scout keeps climbing until finally comes the day when he tops the first summit along the Eagle Trail. There, he receives his 1st class badge. The Scout is now ready to begin the hard work towards Star. Ethan Dempsey, please light the candle on top of the star symbol. A broad field of merit badges awaits the 1st class Scout. More than 100 merit badges guide the Scout to explore careers, hobbies, and community interests. The Scout needs a total of 6 to conquer the Star Scout Summit. Probably a lot sooner than he thought possible, the Scout finds himself standing on Star Ridge. Through leadership, service, and achievement, he conquers the first of 3 great peaks along the Eagle Trail. Having accomplished Star, the Scout looks up to the next summit, which is Life. Ambrose Byer, please light the candle on top of the Life symbol. The trail to the next summit, Life Scout, is not easy. There is leadership to demonstrate, service to others, and plenty of hard work, mastering 5 additional merit badges and helping fellow Scouts. The higher the Scout climbs, the fewer travelers he meets on the trail. Yet all barriers are achievable along the way. This Life Scout's goal can be achieved, but it takes real personal effort and dedication. Tom Rodier, please light the candle on top of the Eagle symbol. While the rank of Life Scout is a coveted one, and deserving to all who obtain it, the Eagle Trail does not end there. It leads on towards a higher summit. The pathway narrows and steepens considerably as it winds along the ledges of personal achievement and mountain pastures of troop accomplishment. Mile by mile, the trail becomes more trying. Many challenges must be conquered in these last miles. Before the highest summit along the Eagle Trail can be completed, 10 additional merit badges must be earned. Some of these are very difficult, and leadership and service are emphasized even more. Along with the merit badge requirements, each Life Scout that desires to be an Eagle Scout must lead an Eagle project. This project challenges the Scout to expand his leadership, communication, and planning skills, while providing a major asset to a religious or community organization. Only with the greatest persistence and courage can the Scout gain the thrill of victory that comes while looking back down the trail from the very top of the Eagle Summit. Scouts, thank you for your assistance in telling the tale.
Thank you, T-Paul and Scouts. Now that we have heard about the trail these Scouts have traveled, will Mr. Burns, our Scout Master, please proceed with the Eagle presentations?
Noah, Liam, Luke, Patrick, and William, you are to be congratulated for reaching the highest peak of the Eagle Trail. Your diligence and hard work have paid off. Mike and Deb, Kathy, Dan and Judy, Mary, Wendy, and Jeff, please come forward as we present our sons with the rank of Eagle. Scouts, if you would stand on the lower level there in front of your chairs, please, and parents up behind them if you can. You have all made Troop 374 very proud. The Eagle legacy of this troop continues with your dedication and hard work. May the qualities that inspired you to this achievement continue to lead you on to even greater success in your lives. If you would, please remove their neckerchiefs for me. As you can see, I'm presenting them with their Eagle neckerchiefs and Eagle slides and with their Eagle lapel pins. Okay, if I just put it on your pocket. In addition to the rank of Eagle, Scouts that complete every 5 merit badges over the minimum required for the rank of Eagle receive a palm. And so as I present each Eagle with their Eagle neckerchief and slide and pin, I'm also going to let you know how many palms they earned. So Noah earned bronze, gold, silver, second bronze, second gold, second silver, and third bronze. So you count those up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So he earned 40 merit badges beyond what he needed to have for his Eagle Scout. That's good. This had to be first. I couldn't save you for last. Look okay? Congratulations, Deb. All right. So Liam earned a bronze, gold, and silver palm. Not quite as heavy as a Super Bowl ring, but they're pretty heavy. Pull that down for me a little bit. Wind it up a bunch. This one's really fighting me for some reason.
I'm trying.
There we go, get one on.
Yes.
There we go. Congratulations. Congratulations, Judy. Congratulations, Dan. Luke earned a bronze, gold, and silver palm. Patrick earns a bronze, gold, silver, and second bronze palms. We'll see. Congratulations, William. Congratulations, Jeff. William earned a bronze, gold, silver, second bronze, second gold, and second silver palms. So Noah, Liam, Luke, Patrick, and William, as Eagle Scouts, the eyes of all scouting will be upon you. Indeed, the eyes of the world will be upon you. Eagle Scouts have a high tradition. Live up to that tradition, always guided by the spirit of scouting. Congratulations. Parents can return to your seats. Boy, did I just blow it. Parents' pens. Can you please come back up, please? I don't know how I did it. Yes, Scouts, please stand up. Yeah, that was my favorite. Can you tell it's been more than a year since I've done this? Scouts, in recognition of the guidance and help that your parents have given you over your many years of scouting, please present these parents' pins to your parents. Now you guys get to pin them on, okay? That's your dad pin and your mom pin. Would you like to pin both of these on your mom? Okay, there you go. Dad pin. Mom pin. Patrick. Mom first. What's next after this? Thank you again to all the parents. Please be seated. I don't think so. The Boy Scouts of America has created the Eagle Mentor Pin as a way of honoring those whose efforts have assisted a scout to reach the Eagle Scout rank. And tonight, the Eagle Scouts would like to honor 6 people who have given a tremendous amount of support and encouragement to each scout. Scouts, would you please introduce your mentors?
Would Mrs. Hastings please come forward? I chose Mrs. Hastings as my mentor because she has been such a massive supporter of my scouting career all the way through, but especially in the later years, she's helped me and the entire troop as well with just so many merit badges, so many achievements, and she's just always been a massive help for everyone.
Would Mr. Rodier please come forward? Mr. Rodier is my mentor, and I speak for all of us because he's always been here for our whole Eagle process. He's been so encouraging and given us so much guidance, and we couldn't all become Eagles without him. Would Mr. Bachman please come forward? I chose Mr. Bachman as my mentor because, well, you know, he's always been there. He goes on all the fun stuff, you know. Pretty fun guy, if I do say so myself. He supports all of my dumb purchases, as you'll see on my table. And, yeah, you're at everyone's projects, and you're always there to support everyone. So, thank you.
Is Mr. Axman in attendance? I would like to honorarily present Mr. Axman a mentor pin. I present him the mentor pin out of respect for his contribution to my and my fellow scouts' experiences on the path to Eagle. In Brownsea, he taught us valuable skills from the moment we crossed over into the troop, making sure we started on the right foot and giving us necessary tools we would carry throughout our scouting career and beyond. We wouldn't be where we are today were it not for his guidance and leadership. Would Mrs. Byer please come forward? Mrs. Byer, Mom, I'm sorry. That's better. Thank you. On behalf of every Eagle recognized here today, I present this mentor pin for you to accept on behalf of the late Mr. Byer. He was my father and former scoutmaster of Troop 374, but it would be a lie to claim he was a father only to me and my biological siblings. These scouts here are my brothers too. He guided and cared for us all. When we were confused or lost, he would always be there to point us in the right direction. often literally giving his orienteering proficiency, and our poorly planned hikes at campouts. He taught us well and set an example of leadership, character, and devotion that none of us will ever forget. His life is an exemplification of the values of Scouting, and we are honored to follow in his footsteps.
Would Mr. Burns please take a couple steps forward? I would like to name you my mentor because you were there my whole scouting career, started introducing me to scouts, helped me fit in after I joined from another troop. You've always been there, always on the fun campouts, always on the activities. Left a huge impact on how I was an SPL, actually. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Will all Eagle Scouts present please join these Scouts up front behind me as they recite the Eagle Oath for the first time, and you reaffirm your oath as Eagle Scouts. New Eagles, please stand. Scout sign. Please recite after me the following Eagle Oath. I reaffirm my allegiance. To the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example. My rank and my influence count strongly. For better scouting and better citizenship. In my troop. In my community. And in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2. By the authority of the Boy Scouts of America, the Northern Star Council, Dan Patch District, Troop 374, I officially present Noah Bachman, Liam Byer, Luke Boulay, Patrick Burns, and William Giles as Eagle Scouts. Dismissed.
Thank you, Nate. Now I invite Mr. Ron Rodier, the Eagle Advisor, to say a few words on behalf of the Eagles.
Good evening. My name is Ron Rodier, and unlike Mr. Bachman, I'm the not-so-fun adult leader in the troop. Yeah, it's true. I'm not nearly as fun as you are. I'm the Eagle coach for Troop 374. My role is to support the Scouts with encouragement, answering any questions they may have, helping them with paperwork, all the forms that they need to do in their pursuit of the rank of Eagle. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the BSA program, I want to take a few minutes to tell you the process of becoming an Eagle Scout. After achieving the rank of Life Scout, the final journey to Eagle begins. In addition to finishing up more merit badges and fulfilling a leadership role within the troop, the Scout must complete a project that benefits the community. The project can be anything of the Scouts' choosing, as long as it is approved by the council in the district. But it must be proposed, planned, and led by the Scout. The Scout is the project manager and uses the leadership skills they have learned over their Scouting career to complete the project. It is not unusual for a Scout to take over a year to find, plan, and complete some of these projects, especially if the project in question is outdoors and weather is a concern. After the project is completed, there are still several steps before the Scout attains the rank of Eagle. There's paperwork to be filled out and submitted to council for approval, and they must endure an Eagle Board of Review where they answer questions about their Scouting life, their future, and the trials and tribulations of their Eagle project. If they pass the Board of Review, they are awarded the rank of Eagle. These 5 Scouts in front of you put in many hours working on the planning and execution of their projects, and they certainly put their leadership skills to work. Let me tell you a little bit about each of their projects. Noah Bachman was the first of this group of Scouts to begin work on his project. Noah got his idea while talking to the maintenance manager at his church. The church had a riding lawnmower they used to mow the lawn, but they had difficulty getting the mower in and out of the storage shed due to the raised step entrance the shed had. Noah's idea was to build a large ramp up to the shed using gravel, sand, and brick pavers so that the mower could be driven in and out of the shed. With the help of fellow Scouts and parents, Noah was able to lead the group and complete the project. The mower can now be stored easily in the shed and will be kept out of the elements. Luke Boulet's project was at a place that is very familiar to Troop 374, the Sacred Heart of Jesus Convent here in Bloomington. Troop 374 has a long history with the convent by doing outdoor spring and fall cleanup there for many, many years. The sisters of the convent were looking for an outdoor space for gatherings, retreats, and silent prayer. Luke's idea was a paver patio with a fire ring and benches for sitting. After consulting with the sisters, Luke planned and executed the project with the help of many from the troop, as well as family and friends, and created a beautiful space for the sisters and their guests to enjoy for years to come. Another project that took place at the convent was Liam Byers. The sisters had a storage room in their basement that had become disorganized and cluttered and also needed a fresh coat of paint. Liam met with the sisters and laid out his vision of the project. His plan was to remove everything from the room, give it a good coat of paint, assemble and install some new shelving, and put everything back in an organized manner. With the approval of the sisters, Liam put his plan in action and led a group of volunteers, including family, Scouts from the troop, in completing the project to the delight of the sisters. One of the more interesting projects was William Giles's. After attempts with several organizations to come up with a project, William connected with the Bloomington VFW. They were looking for a scout to organize a used U.S. flag drive for the purpose of holding a flag retirement ceremony that would also be led by the scout. William dove right in and coordinated a flag drive with the help of the rest of the troop, collecting used and damaged flags from all over the city. The flags then had to be prepared by separating the field of blue and stars from the stripes. Again, the scouts of Troop 374 stepped up and, with guidance from William, prepared many flags for the ceremony. Thanks to William's efforts, over 180 old and tattered flags of the city were retired in a beautiful and dignified flag retirement ceremony that was led by William at the Everett McClay VFW post here in Bloomington. The last project to be completed, and the third to be done at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Convent, was Patrick Burns. The sisters were looking for a way to have the Stations of the Cross installed in their wooded area behind the convent. In addition, they wanted the stations to be movable so that they could be brought inside during the winter months to prevent excess wear and tear. Through trial and error, Patrick was able to come up with a way to have the stations mounted on a post that was sturdy enough to stand on its own and yet be movable so that it could be stored. Patrick showed his helpers how to assemble the stations on the posts and then told them where to place the posts along a path the sisters had chosen that ran through the woods in their backyard. Now they can walk the path, do the stations in a beautiful setting, and because of the mobility, will be able to use them for many years to come. These projects are just a few of the over 140 projects Troop 374 Eagle Scouts have done in and around our city since the troop was first chartered in 1954. Becoming an Eagle Scout is not an endeavor one takes on lightly. It is sometimes hard and difficult, but with perseverance and the support of the troop, family, and friends, it is an attainable goal. These young men have worked hard and provided a great service to their community, and tonight is the culmination of their efforts as they are awarded the rank of Eagle Scout. I know they are grateful to have you here tonight. Having an Eagle Court of Honor is not required, and there are Scouts out there who choose to not have one for many different reasons. Because you have chosen to have a Court of Honor, I applaud you gentlemen. And as our former Scoutmaster and Liam's dad, Kevin Byer, once told me, an Eagle Court of Honor ceremony is an important event, not only to celebrate the achievement of the Scout, but as an inspiration to the younger Scouts of the troop, so that they can see that becoming an Eagle Scout is attainable and something to strive for. I know that Mr. Byer is looking down on the 5 of you right now and saying, well done, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodier. Now I invite Mr. Mike Bachman, the Outdoor Committee Chair, to say a few words on behalf of the Eagles.
All right, you guys know what I'm going to say, right? Stand up. You 5. Stand. I can't talk. I can't talk to the back of your heads, so can you like turn your chairs a little bit just so I can, you don't have to stand necessarily, just turn your chairs or something. Yeah, that'll work. Whatever. All right, thanks. Much better. Sorry, y'all. So, hi, Theo, thank you. And it's great to see all of you here to celebrate these guys and all that they've accomplished. So thank you so much for being here. As Theo mentioned, my name is Mike Bachman. I am the activities coordinator for the troop. And like Mr. Rodier, wherever he went, nice job. You are fun. I have the privilege of sharing a few thoughts and observations about the guys and their time in the troop here. So, guys, thank you for this honor. I really appreciate it. It's pretty cool. So, as I mentioned, I am the activities coordinator for the troop, and I also happen to be the proud father of Eagle Scout Noah. Heck yeah. But I've had a unique opportunity to see both sides of things. So I've obviously seen the Scouts, I've been with them, I've seen them grow and learn and develop. I've also seen the adult side of it and all the inner workings it takes to make all this happen. So I'm gonna put a pause on you guys real quick. And so everybody that's with us this evening, if you have participated or supported these Scouts in any way, and I'm talking like, committee members, merit badge work, rank advancement, driver, parent, friend, family, cook, coupon cards, wreaths, et cetera, you get the idea. Can you just real quick, if you're able, stand up so we can thank you? Take a look, guys. Awesome. And also a quick shout out, if I may, to my wife, Deb. Thank you so much for saying, yeah, go for it. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm very blessed. So, and most of all, the man who really doesn't seek or want any recognition, but he's going to get some. The guy who he's either discovered and mastered the 26-hour day, or he never sleeps. I don't know how he does it, but for all you've done and for all you continue to do, Mr. Burns, thank you. And here's the deal. No one achieves anything on their own. You can only get by with people helping you along the road, so keep that in mind. Okay, so where was I at? Oh, yeah, you guys, what the heck? Hi, congratulations. That's a big deal. Guys, it's a big, big accomplishment. It's a lot of work. It's a serious commitment. And you guys have had an extra dose of it throughout your career here. You have dealt with the loss of Mr. Byer, and that's been really hard. You have dealt with a pandemic. I mean, a pandemic. What? So, would you agree with me? A virtual troop meeting is like the worst thing ever. I'm just saying. So, but here's the thing. We figured it out, and you guys stuck with it, and here you are. So I'm just so super proud of you guys. Really, really proud. Now, there have been some lesser challenges. You call them lesser challenges, but challenges. And I apologize to all you out there because you won't have context here, so just bear with me. All right, so you have survived a canoe-eating tree. You have survived the wrath of an angry breakfast drink. Just saying. Somehow you've managed to memorize every word of every campfire skit and song ever written. I have no idea. Yeah. You have managed to jam one more scout into the Magic the Gathering castle. So, and beyond that, you've experienced the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat with the Eddie Bungert cooking contest. Just saying. You have survived a 6-mile hike through a furnace, a 12-mile paddle seeking out a campsite. Right on. Several evacuations. I'm staying high level here, so you guys are good. Setting up tents in the dark, looking for that ever elusive neckerchief slide, and all while, in a strong voice, I went there. And on, and on. Oh my gosh, you guys have overcome. It's awesome. So, I could also go on about the many experiences you've had. I just thought I'd throw out a few here. So, state parks, cabin campouts, lock-ins, tenting in crazy heat, snow, rain, wind, multiple bear and TikToks, boundary waters, whitewater rafting, historic sites, Mississippi headwaters, Order of the Arrow, convent cleanups, lots of service projects, and take a left at the pile of the horse poop. That was the thing. That was one of our campsites. I got a picture. Take a look at the slideshow out there. So all that to say, lots of good stuff. You guys have thrown rocks in the Mississippi River, the St. Croix River, the Minnesota River, the Missouri River, the Willow River, the Pigeon River, the Cannon River, High Island Creek, Hay Creek, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Bemidji, Highland Lake, Long Lake, Lake Bills Bay. I mean, you get the idea. They like to throw rocks. They're scouts. So, yeah, the Pigeon, into Canada. You hit Canada. So the point here is you guys have experienced a lot of fun stuff, and that's obviously very important to scouting. Also important to scouting is development, and you guys, so developing character, developing values, developing a heart of service, and it's just, I've seen you guys grow in so many ways. It's just been really cool and an extreme privilege for me to see where you guys started. I mean, you look back there at our first year scouts, and that was you, and now you are just a group of awesome young men. So very, very proud of you. So to wrap up, two things. First of all, it's not a challenge, but a reminder. So my reminder has to do with the power of words. So, for example, I will, or I love you, or I'm sorry, or what if? So those are phrases, obviously have very few words, but their meanings run really deep. So my reminder for you is these words, on my honor. Every time you are on the road, you are in the classroom, you're in the workplace, you're at your dorm, apartment, house, you're out with friends, you're alone. I would encourage you to be mindful of those words and the oath that follows. So I do have, I should say, I know that you will all do your best. And you are already on an excellent path. I am super proud of you. I do have something. And I'm not going to unwrap it, but just to show you there is a physical something. A little something just as a visual reminder. I hope you guys will put it somewhere where you will see it regularly and you can reflect on it. So there's that. And lastly, how do we wrap up each night of a campout? Well, close. I'm thinking Cracker Barrel. I'm thinking good answer. Good, you get a prize for that, maybe. Yeah, so what have we joked about, talked about as a Cracker Barrel? No, it wouldn't be that. So, yeah, guys, Cracker Barrel. Mountain Dew and Oreos. So I'll step down and give each of you one of these, but I'm really, really proud. Congratulations to each one of you, and I can't wait to see how future experiences unfold for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bachman. Now I invite our new Eagle Scouts to say a few words.
So we're just going to come up here one at a time and share some of our favorite memories from scouting, probably just one or two though. So one of my favorite memories was when we were at Boundary Waters and we were on our way back, and in my canoe it was me and Luke, and then there was another canoe with Liam and William, and then another canoe with Patrick, Theo, and my dad. So we were on our way back after, a wonderful camping experience, and Luke and I were getting really hungry, and so were some of the other groups, but Liam and William weren't. And we asked them for food because we thought they had food, and they thought they had food, so they took off because they didn't want to stop. But then, come to realize that Patrick, Theo, and my dad have the food, so we all just stop without telling them when they're off in the distance and have a great break.
And say words now. All right. I would like to reflect on the time that we slept on a World War II submarine, because that was cool. For those of you who don't know, at the U.S. Maritime Museum in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, Milwaukee? Manitowoc, Wisconsin. The USS Cobia is a World War II submarine that is happily sitting in a channel there leading into the Michigan Lake Michigan. And as noted, World War II submarine, that area was renowned for making submarines, using the Cobia as sort of a blueprint and using help from the same manufacturers of the Cobia. And so we got to not only tour the Cobia and see all the nooks and crannies, including, general quarters, conning tower, got to see the bridge, we got to see the cafeteria, battery compartment, you name it. We saw every nook and cranny of that ship. It had cannons, which is cool. We should bring those back to submarines, am I right? Torpedo room, we got to mess with torpedoes. That was a lot of fun. I say we should do that again. And we got to do a diving drill, and we managed to do it faster than some of the crew were able to do during the war. So that was very cool. We should definitely go back again, because we were the youngest scouts at that time. So you guys are missing out. Guys, pressure your leaders, please. Help. But the best part is, the USS Cobia has a nice, on the top of the conning tower, it has a nice little broom just sticking up. And they replace that broom every single week, because every week technicians come and they check every system on the ship. It's fully functional. So I say the next time we go, we bring a big diesel truck, we pump it full of gas, and we take it out on Lake Michigan. Troop submarine. All right, thank you.
Uh-oh, my turn. Let's see. Well, first things first, since it's the only chance I really get to talk, just a quick thank you to all the adults that have, helped out over the years, Mr. Burns, and before him, Mr. Byer, and especially my parents, too. You guys were there to kick my butt if I didn't want to do something, so thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, but now for a quick trip down memory lane, shall we? About 4 years ago, at Tomahawk, 10 of us older scouts decided it'd be fun to drive ATVs for one of our activities. On the first day, we had to do this little training course for an hour and a half, just so they knew we'd be somewhat safe on these things. So then the second day kind of rolled around, and they ended up letting us go on the trails. One of the camp counselors was basically the line leader, and we just kind of followed her the whole time. But about 30 to 40 minutes later, there came a, let's say, unexpected turn to some, and I will not name names, but you know who you are. These two scouts, by some God-given grace and talent, wedged their two ATVs together, making them undrivable. How? I really don't know. You'd have to ask them, but we tried pulling them apart. That didn't really work out, so we called it a night and went back to camp. So that's how that went. And then the second memory is one I remember a little too well. So it's pretty early on. I was in like 6th grade, and this was canoeing. It was a canoeing camp out. It was our first canoeing camp out, and it was one I was pretty stoked about. But that was before I knew of the sheer terror that awaited me later that day. Quick show of hands. How many of you have heard of the orange juice called Tang? Okay, cool. Well, there's a big tub of powdered Tang. So naturally, everyone else is doing it. I put a scoop or two in my water bottle. And the day goes by, and at this point, I drank like half my water bottle, thinking nothing of it. And as we're canoeing, I start to get pretty nauseous. And we ended up beaching the canoes, and we left to go back to camp before anything happened. But word got out that I was feeling sick. So naturally, the boys did everything in their power to try and make me throw up on the way back. One of the guys was, "Hey, look at my orange t-shirt. You know what else is orange?" So, yeah, that was fun. And after about half an hour of this, I went back to my tent to chill for a bit, but eventually I got up and ended up throwing up 3 times that night. About an hour later, I was dead asleep in my tent, and my mom, unzipped my tent, and she was there to pick me up. So that camp out was pretty bittersweet for me. So that being said, I wouldn't be standing here today without all of your support and commitment. And thanks for coming tonight, and be very careful with how much Tang you drink.
All right, so I have the pleasure of talking about our Black Hills trip that we took a couple years ago. So, the drive was very long, and a lot of us were sleeping most of the time, as usual. And it was about a 9-hour drive to get there. And the first big thing we did was going to Mount Rushmore. That was awesome. So there at Mount Rushmore, there was a huge museum behind it that showed how they built it, the progress, and how many years it took them to build it. Still isn't finished, by the way, but it was very cool. They had tons of pictures, they had explanations of how they built it, and the crazy amount of time and manpower they needed to do that. The next cool thing was the light show. So we stayed there until like 9:30 or something like that, close there. And they had lights that shined up onto Mount Rushmore, and all the faces were illuminated, and it was very cool. The next thing we did was go to the Badlands. That was amazing. There was huge rock formations, and we got to stand right next to the edge and take pictures. Some of us joked about jumping off. None of us did. We're all alive, so we're good on that. And the view was incredible. We all had amazing pictures, and we all had a blast climbing up on all the rock formations. It was great. Next thing was the drive-through zoo kind of thing. Best description I can give of it, so bear with me. We got to go through this really cool scenic path where there's tons of animals. There's bison, deer, rams, all that kind of fun stuff out there. The next fun thing, some of you who were there will remember the excruciating hike. It was approximately 5 hours to do that. A lot longer than we thought, but we all survived. And we were, very tired and exhausted and very sweaty by the time we got back. And there was this huge, lake or something like that, pond that we all swam in for hours after it. Very nice. That was grueling. And it was a lot of fun, and it was a memory I'll never forget with all of you that were there. And lastly, I want to end on thank you for all who came here tonight. We all appreciate the support. Thank you to all the family, friends, mentors, and everyone else who came. We all really appreciate it, and we're glad you're here with us to celebrate this special night. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I was trying to get that adjusted to my height, but I guess it doesn't want to do that. So before I get started, I would like to thank some people. So first off, to Mr. Burns and Mr. Byer for both being amazing scoutmasters for my entire scouting career. Mr. Bachman for planning some of the most fun outdoor activities I've had in this troop. Mrs. Giles, who's been an amazing support in the troop. My mom, Mrs. Giles, as well, for being an amazing mom who did have to nag me quite a few times, but look, you got the job done. I'm up here now. So, Dad, back there, you're pretty awesome too. I know you haven't been as involved in the scouting aspect, but you've been a great support for me. And to the many other adults and scouts who have made this journey a lot easier and a lot more fun. But with that being said, I would like to go into two major events that happened in my scouting career. The first off is the Tomahawk Storm. Some of you may remember this, some of you were probably too young to have been there, but we have a saying in the troop that the world rains if it doesn't rain at Tomahawk. And it's been proven true. It's rained, I think, at least a little bit every year. But this year in particular, there was like a tornado warning nearby. And we decided to leave the camp because we had a good amount of newer scouts and we didn't want them to have to hide in a storm shelter for who knows how many hours. So we ended up packing everyone. We left our tents and everything, but we packed everyone into cars and went, okay, I thought it was echoing for a second, and went to a nearby hotel, and thank goodness we did, because the entire night it was raining like crazy outside, lightning, hearing weather warnings on the TV. And when we got back to camp the next day, the dining fly had collapsed. The rain had collected in the tarps too much and caused the poles to bend and collapse. So we lost our dining fly and had to get that entirely replaced, I believe. But that was quite an experience. It was very interesting though. We had a lot of fun at the hotel since there was like a swimming pool, and it was also nice to have, a real bathroom and real beds. So I'll take it. The other story is one I personally am very famous for. A lot of the scouts know this story, except for probably the youngest ones. It actually kind of intertwines with Luke's about the Tang. It's from the same camp out, the first canoeing camp out, which was one of my first camping experiences in this troop, and one of my first times canoeing as well. So as we're starting out, we get to the Cannon River with our canoes. We put the canoes into the river. Patrick and I are sharing a canoe because Patrick, you're not getting out of this one. So we go, and Patrick and I, because we're young and we're kind of dumb, so we start going really, really fast. We're like way ahead of everyone else. We have to stop, and our canoe's like kind of spinning around in the river because we're going too fast and whatever. And eventually, there's like this side current that starts pulling us towards this big tree over the river, like this big fallen tree. And this is the thing Mr. Bachman mentioned about the canoe-eating tree. And so it gets pulled. We can't get away at this point. It's pulling us in. We're not generating enough forward power to escape. And our canoe gets sucked under the tree by the current and caught on the other side. And with Patrick and I tipping into the water, and we had to spend a long, long time waiting for Mr. Bachman to get the canoe out from under the tree because it was stuck in such a way that it made it very, very, very difficult. Yeah, what was it, like 30 minutes at least, probably? Yeah, it slowed everything down, that camp out. But we went back to the Cannon River on a recent camp out that I was part of for canoeing. And the entire time, pretty much did not hear the end of, oh, look out for the tree, oh, look out for the tree. Even though we went past it and the tree's no longer there, unfortunately. But, yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to end this, but I would just like to say again, thank you to everyone who's made this Journey to Eagle special. And there's this phrase that's commonly joked about or thrown around. They're just said usually in a jokingly context, but in this case, kind of serious. But maybe the real Eagle Scout Award was the friends we made along the way.
Thank you, William. I now invite Mr. Burns to present his Scoutmaster Minute.
Who tonight is familiar with P.T. Barnum? Who knows who P.T. Barnum was? Many younger scouts? Probably, maybe not. Okay. Many folks, though. So he lived in the 1800s. He was a politician. He was a businessman. He was known as a great showman. If you've heard of the Barnum and Bailey, thank you, circus, right? They developed that. It was known as the greatest show on earth. He also is known for many quotes, and many meaningful quotes. And one of his quotes is, "Comfort is the enemy of progress." And why is this true? Because I think it is true. Because we're not stretching ourselves. We're not testing ourselves. We're not learning new things. If we're always comfortable, we are stuck and not growing. So, new Eagle Scouts, I'm going to ask you about some of the times you may have been uncomfortable during your scouting career. I ask you to remember that a scout is trustworthy, but I also ask you to remember that a scout is helpful, and it's always a good idea to help your scoutmaster. So if you would, if I'm correct in some of these things I bring up, maybe just nodding your head so folks can see that you affirm that that might have been an uncomfortable situation for you along the way. How about when you first joined the troop as the new little guys after having been the big guys in the pack? Were you uncomfortable at all? How about that first bear talk when I had to tell you what would happen if a bear came into your tent? Was that uncomfortable at all? How about the first Scoutmaster Conference and Board Review that you had when you had to sit there as an 11-year-old and be interviewed by 3 adults asking you all kinds of questions? Yes? How about when you decided to start your Eagle projects, knowing what a big job that was going to be? All right, so Luke, I'm going to ask you specifically. How about your first summer camp in the food, when all you would eat is carbohydrates that were white bread? Remember that? That made me nervous because I was camp cook. Liam, how about we went on the North Winds expedition? We hiked out on a Friday night in January, slept outdoors Friday night, hiked around over the place Saturday, slept outdoors with nothing but a tarp and a sleeping bag and a pad on Saturday night. Yes? Little discomfort involved? Oh, okay. Well, Patrick and I were with you, but there were some others, as I recall. So you must be referring to them, I hope, anyway. William, how about not knowing exactly when everything was going to happen to the minute when you came into the troop? How about not knowing when everything was going to happen right down to the minute when you came into the troop? Remember that? Yeah, I was asking, when are we going to do this? What's next? What's next? What's next? I could tell you're a real scheduler, and we didn't quite run it that tight of a schedule for you. I think it made you a little bit uncomfortable at times. Right, see? See? When, very accurately when they're going on. Oh, Patrick, I meant to ask you about the same Northwind expedition. Was that a little bit uncomfortable for you? Because you were out there with Liam and I. And maybe not uncomfortable, but discomfort, sleeping outdoors in January in Minnesota. Noah, I had a hard time. I was trying to think of something, but you always act so calm, cool, and collected. But I think maybe the first swim test that I saw you take, were you a bit uncomfortable taking that swim test for your first time you joined us for summer camp? Probably? Okay, all right. So now I'm going to address our younger scouts, those sitting over there in the first couple of the pews. These new Eagle Scouts sat where you sat, and they sat there for years. As you've heard, all of them have been uncomfortable. All of them have had uncomfortable experiences in their scouting careers. The discomfort helped them to grow and to ultimately be sitting where they are tonight on the Eagle Scout throne. My message to you, Scouts, is to do as they did. Know that some discomfort is coming your way, mixed in with the vast amount of fun you're going to have in Scouts. Some of you already experienced this when we ziplined last month. There were a few that were uncomfortable, and they fought through that. So become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Embrace the discomfort, and one day you too will sit on the throne of the Eagle Scout. Noah, Liam, Luke, Patrick, and William, I commend you for accepting and meeting the challenge of being uncomfortable. You will have many such opportunities in the coming years. Continue to accept the challenge of being uncomfortable so that you can continue to stretch and grow, always guided by the Scout oath and law. Remember, comfort is the enemy of progress. And as we say at the conclusion of our Vespers, may the great Scoutmaster of us all guide us and lead us on our path to him.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Now I call on our chaplain aide, Warren Fisher, to give our benediction.
Warren, just stand aside just for a second. Thank you. That's my third mistake tonight. That should be all of them, I think. So, almost 14 years ago, May 24th, 2010, our oldest son, Alexander, became the 93rd Eagle Scout of this troop. With the date that he became Eagle Scout, and with him graduating a week later, we just didn't have time. We weren't able to put together a court of honor like this. And it's always bothered me, and I know it's always bothered Mary, that we weren't able to do that for Alex. So at this point, I want to have Alex come forward so we can recognize him as an Eagle Scout. Alex, if you'd come up, please.
I'll make it quick, but I'm just blessed and thankful to have come up in this troop for my dad and my mom that have been an amazing support over the years and still are. And pretty cool now, I have two daughters that are now members in the Cub Scout pack. So I'm back involved again and just blessed to be here, and thanks again, and I'll be around for a while. So thank you.
O Lord, grant that I may possess the will and the strength to live up to my solemn obligations, to do my duty to God and my country, to serve my community, to all mankind be trustworthy, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent, to help others at all times, especially those who are weak or in need, to assist my fellow scouts along the Eagle Trail, providing leadership and inspiration so that they may also experience the fulfilling rewards of scouting, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight in every undertaking day of my life, to respect our wildlife and environment, to be prepared and to do my best in every envocator. Never forget that I am an Eagle Scout, and always to remember that I represent the idol of the highest achievement in scouting, a symbol of good character and citizenship, and of wholesome worth and honor. Amen.
Thank you, Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our Eagle Court of Honor. We thank you for joining us here today for this great occasion. The mothers of the Eagle Scouts have provided light refreshments for us. Please make your way to the gathering space after flags are retired to enjoy some treats. Please take all of your belongings with you, as we will not have access to the church later. Please rise. Color guard advance. Scout salute. Retire the colors. Thank you, everyone. This court of honor is adjourned.